Pretty, isn't it? So I was up at 4 a.m., which was really 5 a.m. So my 5 a.m. has become 4 a.m. Thanks, or daylight savings. So today we're going to talk about killing winter weeds. I'm going to go over some specifics with you. We're going to talk about temperatures. And yesterday we came out here and cut some grass. I'll show you that, but man, everything looks fantastic. So here's the issue. One of the issues that you'll end up dealing with is what I call these weed killing windows, and that has to do with the temperature. That's really important. And then understanding how these different killers actually work, whether they get absorbed through the foliage or through the root zone. So you need to kind of think about that. So yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll cover that today, and here we go. So if you don't have the lawn guides, get the lawn guides. We cover a lot of this in the lawn guides. They've been up for over 4 or 5 years. 3 million people have used them. There's nothing to download. You just go there. Just go to freelawncareguide.com. There's a link to the Bermuda and the Zoysia up top, and then that's the Cool Season website. There's products, questions and answers, calendars, everything. Use them. Here's an interesting thing. You're coming off the winter and you've got these weeds around. Obviously, a lot of people are going to have poana, which is a big deal with Bermuda lawns. And then you have broadleaf weeds. Well, they need to be treated differently, unfortunately. So I talked about this season-long weed control. That's for broadleaf. I'll show you the results here in a second. I sprayed some out. But let's talk about poana real quick. On the poana, when it comes to poana, there are 2 products that most people are going to use. One is the image, the original image in a hose end bottle. You put it on a hose, you come out and spray it. But what most people don't realize is that that takes a long time to work. I mean, you can be 2 or 3 weeks before you really start to see some results with it. The other product is Certainty. Certainty comes in a little bottle. Matter of fact, I found a link to a what do you call it, generic version that's a little bit cheaper. It's actually about 30% less. I'll link to that, but you really need to be careful when you're mixing that up on how you mix it up. It comes with a little scoop, and I'm going to tell you what you do is you go to Google and you type it, or excuse me, you go to one of the AI engines, go to Grok or go to Gemini. I use Gemini. Take a picture of the bottle and say, how do I mix this in my sprayer? My sprayer is 2 gallons. Tell me what to do. And it'll tell you exactly how to mix that. So it'll tell you if you're spot treating, use this number of scoops. If you're doing a broadcast, use this. It's a really good way to figure it out. Also, if you have a weed on your lawn, you don't know what it is, open up that app, take a photo of that weed, and say, go to one of the AIs and say, tell me what weed this is, and it'll tell you what weed it is. They're great little tools to have. Okay, so the other day I came out and I did a video about turning hard clay soils into good soil, and one of the keys to that is roots in the ground. So if you have raw dirt anywhere, areas that you struggle with, as an example, the new rental property that we bought, the backyard was just nasty. I threw down a ton of annual ryegrass. Dude, you should see that whole, they're putting up a fence over there. That whole backyard is solid green. Same thing here. We came out here, I put down a bunch of seed out here the other day. I told you I didn't put down wheat straw because I couldn't find any. Well, I finally found some. And John and Jeff came out here and put some out here yesterday. So I've got some wheat straw on these bare spots because it really needs it. We had rain come in last night, and we've had rain the previous week, and temperatures, we were out here in our t-shirts sweating. It was almost 80 degrees. But here's the problem. Today is Tuesday. 7 days from now, next Tuesday, it's going to probably be about 25 or 26 degrees here. The high is going to be in the 40s. So that would not be the time to apply a weed killer. Most weed killers work best when the weed is actively growing. So right now, when your temperatures are in 70s or 80s, is a good time to apply them because the weed is active. When it gets frozen, it's not going to be active. And then a rain comes by and washes it off, and you wonder why it didn't work. So anyways, if you have poana, use the original image. Maybe I'll put a link to it down on the page below, or you can use the Certainty bottle and spray that out. Now, broadleaf weeds. First of all, I want to show you something. Look at that versus this. So we didn't put any of this annual ryegrass down here last month. Over here, I put down the annual ryegrass, and look at that. Is that just crazy or what? Jeff was out here cutting this and he was like, man, he said, this is like better than a golf course. That looks phenomenal. So I put down a little bit of DGL down here, the dark green lawn, which is all fast release nitrogen. And if you just want to push a little bit of a green, DGL is great. For your basic fertilizer, you're going to be using PGF Complete. But once you put that down, if you want to spoon feed and push the lawn a little bit, have some DGL on hand too. And just real light coats, you can spoon feed with that DGL. Next month, we'll be looking at soil health and we'll talk about stuff like Dirt Booster and Lawn Alive. But right now, this is just looking fantastic. So I came out here, I've got the bottle up here. I talked about the season-long weed control from BioAdvance. I'll put a link to it. It's a hose end bottle. You come out, you spray, and it kills the weed, and it has a pre-emergent for broadleaf weeds. It will not work. The pre-emergent is not effective on crabgrass or grasses. It's for broadleaf. So I came out here, and I actually have this garden out here. Last year, this was gorgeous. This was all flowers that we planted. Over the winter, look at all the weeds that have grown in here. So I actually came out with the BioAdvance. I put it in a backpack sprayer, filled 4 gallons of water and over 4 gallons of water, and did it on a fine mist. Because here's the thing, that is a foliar absorption. So as an example, Image, if you're trying to kill, is a root killer. So it goes into the roots for Poena. Certainty is a foliar, so you need to understand the difference between those two. So if you're going to use Certainty on Poena, it's foliage covered. Image goes in through the roots, so you have to treat it differently. This is foliar, so you want to apply it when you don't have any rain and temperatures are a little warmer. And man, that stuff is all dying off, all of that broadleaf stuff. What's nice is it really didn't hurt the actual, I have a couple like bulbs in here and everything. It didn't bother them, but I want to show you this. So I have some broadleaf weeds popping up in here, and I did a test spray. I want to see how it would work on annual rye, but look at all this yellow dying off. See all these weeds dying off here? And it really doesn't have any effect on this perennial rye, which was one of my concerns. So because that season-long weed control spray is a foliar coverage, I wanted it to be a little bit finer mist, so I mixed it up in a backpack and actually came out here and sprayed it. I just had to figure out the right ratios. In other words, I got 4 gallons and I want it to treat about 6,000 square feet, so you just have to kind of play with it. But the easy way to do it is just hook it up to a hose end and spray it. I'll grab this bottle here in a second. But this is just crazy looking, man. The other area, again, annual ryegrass to get roots in the ground. I do have some centipede that's dormant under here and some common Bermuda, but this used to be woods. Look at it. This used to be woods, and now I've got it nice and green. A little bit of DGL on here, PGF Complete the month before. So I did put down common Bermuda seed here, and it finally did start to take. So I'm actually pretty happy with it right now, but hopefully I can get some roots in the ground here. And if you're going to do any planting, if you're going to do any seeding, you got to have roots in the ground. You got to have something established. You can't just take a Bermuda seed and put it on hard clay soil. And that's why I consistently like to have like a perennial rye down. And that's what we've got here. Excuse me, an annual rye. Annual rye will grow on rocks. If you put annual rye seed down on that gravel over there, guess what? It's going to grow in the gravel. So you can get it down here, and like you see right here, this is absolutely gorgeous in here. And this is almost all annual ryegrass. Common Bermuda is under here, and this will eventually die off. But right now, it just looks fabulous. I mean, and this is what I want. This is why my pond behind me is clear after all this rain. And you know why? It's because I have roots in the ground. And the roots in the ground are protecting that pond and keeping that, instead of having a bunch of silt and soil runoff, I don't have any. I have one of the only clear ponds around. When I get a lot of rain, I have one of the only clear ponds around. So I'm out here at the new rental property. This front yard, I believe, is centipede, and that's the way I'm going to push it. Look at that. This place was all dirt. And the fence looks so good. Look at that. Man, it is nice to have a privacy fence. So there was a chain link fence all the way around here. We put up a 6-foot board on board sort of look, but look at all this grass in here. So there's a brand new French drain system that runs through here. Hell, I'm trying to find the, there they are, right here. So we got a bunch of these that collect all this water, come in here and throw it around on both sides. But man, look at this grass. Is this crazy or what? This was dirt. This was dirt 4 weeks ago. Lots of clover, lots of weeds. But again, I don't care. I'm not concerned about the weeds. I'm concerned about having raw dirt, because when you have raw dirt and you want to plant something, so I can come out here in probably in another month, I can come out here and throw down some centipede and common Bermuda grass and then cut this stuff down, and at least it'll have penetration into the soil now. Again, this is a lot of weeds. I don't care. Look at that. That was all dirt. 4 weeks ago, this was solid dirt right here. Man, that's just nuts. So the fence did come to here, just so you know, and then what we did is we extended it over here. And the reason why I did that is this will give them sort of a little storage area. You know, Ryan's got a kayak or whatever. It might not be a bad idea to actually put like a little carport here, and you could actually pull like lawn equipment in here. That would actually be kind of cool. So yeah, so this is sort of that principle of throw down annual ryegrass. Keep, every time it rains, put out more. I think we put 100 pounds of annual ryegrass back here. Even in this area, this was all dirt back in here. And at least I've got some roots in the ground over here. Could probably use more ryegrass. Believe it or not, this big dip in here, this used to be a swimming pool. So we did put some of the dirt in here, but that would take 2 truckloads to fix. I had them put a gate here. And the reason being is if you ever want to store something or have access to the back, I've learned. So you can see the old. So this is the old fence. This is their fence. So I left here. Now the reason why I did this too is you need to be able to stain your fence without intruding on your neighbors. So this is a good idea. If you ever had put a fence up, I had the property surveyed, and after it's surveyed, we came in about 2.5 feet just to leave enough room for come back here and actually stain it. I was talking to the survey guy, and he went out and did a survey for this guy, and the guy built his workshop 3 feet over his property line, and now he has to move that entire workshop. He's like, dude, penny wise and pound foolish. The guy didn't want to spend $600 for a survey, and now he's got to spend thousands of dollars to move it. But yeah, this is a great little house. Rachel came out here the other day. Rachel from the garden from last year. She does a lot of landscape design, and we're talking, she loved this place. So she's going to come out. We're going to do some landscaping out here too. On that front area, we'll do some plantings, but it's really turned out nice. So I'm back over here. Now all of a sudden it's windy. So a couple of quick notes. Let's just go over some pointers. Number one, whoo, man, it's windy now. Pre-emergent. If you don't have your pre-emergent down, get your pre-emergent down, number one. Number two, put down a light coat of a balanced fertilizer like PGF Complete, because it'll take weeks for that to work into the soil. Once your lawn wakes up, scalp it, then start putting down a little bit of DGL. Winter weeds, make sure you identify the weed and understand which treatment to do. Is it a broadleaf or is it a grass? That's what you're going to concentrate on. This time of year, it's probably not crabgrass, but you're going to have poana and broadleaf. Those are the two you're going to tackle. So anyways, that's about it. And keep roots in the ground. If you got areas that are bare, nasty, just throw out some ryegrass. I'm telling you, dude, nothing better for it. That's it. Hope the video helped. Give it a thumbs up, and that's it. Duh.